What's going on? So today's an important day. You have the FOMC meeting at 2, and it's going to be an important one, actually. This is probably the most important one in a long time. Um, the market is on the brink of rolling over, depending on what they talk about rates. My target to the downside would be the 200, which on the NQ is right around 1637 ish. What is it? 16,600. I don't know. Obviously, it moves up every day that there's a candle made. But yeah, somewhere around this range would probably be my target if what is said is not bullish. I mean, you can see we're rolling over on the Fisher, the MACD. For the people that trade the Qs, I'll bring up the daily. I mean, I was looking at, yeah, like around 400-ish. It's only about 5% down, so it's not, you're not talking crazy. It's just that's what I could see to the downside. We had the GDP numbers that were not great, but then it was kind of offset by earnings that were good by Google. Amazon had good earnings. I think Meta was a double beat also, but the market reacted poorly to it. There was one other earnings also that were good. Amazon, maybe it was Google. I forget. I gotta look. So much stuff is going on. But yeah, so tech earnings have been pretty decent. I know AMD reported they were down yesterday. Um, I think a lot is being weighted on this meeting today, but tech earnings have been solid. So I think it's definitely propping the market up. I think Apple reports tomorrow, which is obviously a huge one, and they're talking about iPhone sales being down. So I don't really know. I'm not building a long position here. Um, if anything, I actually reduced it yesterday. So this green line's to 34, and you can see every time we touch it, we bounce on the way up. So usually that will become resistance. So when we hit it up here, I basically unloaded the majority of my positions, except for ones that I have that are out, many months or till next year. So, I'm kind of a lot is being weighted on the meeting today. Um, but my overall target for a pullback would probably be the 200. And then I would say, even before we get to the 200, like say we get around 404, I'd probably be starting to add there because you're never going to add it at the exact bottom. So, I'd probably add if we got at 404, probably obviously at 400. And then if we continue to go lower, I'd probably add positions. And my absolute bottom for a pullback would be this line is the 377, and that's at 377-ish. So, I mean, that would be to me the absolute bottom. And actually, by the time it caught down there, this line would probably be up here, which would coincide with the bottom here and the peak here, and it would be a solid place to bounce. That would probably be, where my bottom is. Let me just pull up a week. I mean, you can see. I mean, obviously, right here where the 34 is on the weekly is the old top. So there's support there. We didn't actually touch it, but we got super close, and that's close enough for a solid bounce. It's pretty much where we're at now. No, we're not. Sorry, we're up here. You know what it is? TradingView put the price here, but the price there is 407, and we're still up here. So yeah, I mean, you know, on the weekly, I definitely, definitely see it coming down. Now, obviously, they come out and say some good stuff about rates. We can pop back up to, maybe highs again. A lot weighs on this meeting. I think honestly, it just feels like they're not cutting rates this year. Maybe they cut once near election time, kind of before. But it kind of feels like originally they were talking about all these rate cuts, and then it just got smaller and smaller. It just kind of feels like maybe they're going to cut once. Just, the way it feels like that. Yeah, so I mean, my trade plan today, let me see what we got. So usually when they come out with the meeting information, the first move is typically the wrong move. So you'll get say you'll get a wick up real quick, and then it'll come all the way back down, and then the move is down. Or same thing, like you'll go down for the 30 seconds, or sometimes even 5 seconds, and then it'll come right back up and rip. So typically I look to play after 30 to 45 seconds when the move actually decides what way it's going to go, and then typically I'm in for a scalp. I do not put orders in prior to try to catch, the big move one way or another, because like I said, I've seen it where it flashes up and then flashes and then comes right back down, where you couldn't get your orders in fast enough and you would have just got destroyed. So my plan is probably not to trade much after 1 o'clock. We're probably going to chop around a bunch. I would assume we're going to get some type of move early on in the day, one way or the other, and then that's probably going to be the end by 10:30 or 11 o'clock. I'm probably going to go for an early lunch, make sure I'm back by about 1:30, and and probably, if I was to take a shot and it flashes up on FOMC instantly, I might grab 5 micros to the downside for it to sell off that big candle. Obviously I put stops in, but I'd probably be willing to risk $300-400. Argument's sake, it happens right now, and say we wicked from 58 to 502 or 520, I'd probably go short and put a stop up somewhere around 550. Give myself about 30 points a room to the other side and wait for it to go back the other way. Other than that, I would probably put protection on, because if it's bad, like I said, we're gonna sell off pretty solid. Like I said, I could see 5% down over the course of the next 2-3 weeks. This isn't typically strong times in the market. So I would probably say, I'd probably put protection on and see what happens. That would be my, some type of hedge. And you can always take the hedge off come after the meeting. But I protect my portfolio when it comes to times like this. And, if you're trading futures, because you follow me, because, trading prop firms, I would probably look to buy around this pivot point on a dip early in the day if we get there, which would be nice because it would be breaking the 400 support, kind of sweep below 400, and then I would buy around here and wait. It looks like we're not getting over VWAP, so if we get back up, I might take a little short. We reclaim this bottom, which is obviously bullish here. It seems like it's holding. Yeah, so I mean that's probably my plan is just to make a couple of scalps during the day and look for it to come around. I don't think we're going to see the pivot up north before the FOMC meeting. So I'd probably say look for a dip and then buy the dip. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do. You don't need to trade on days that aren't favorable to you. So before the FOMC meeting, I'm looking to just take scalps, bounces off the 34, maybe some orb bounces, and that's really it. Nothing of significant size, and that's pretty much what I'm going to do with my portfolios. So if you have any questions, just comment below, and hopefully this helps you out navigate the market today.